Welcome, football fans, to Tim Reynolds Show's NFL Week 18 preview and predictions. Please make sure you guys hit that like button as we're covering the last week of the regular season, and we're starting off with some Saturday football to kick us off, where we will see the Cleveland Browns travel to take on the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens open up as a 20-point favorite in this matchup, and Cleveland will start quarterback Bailey Zappi in this game in the regular season final, their fourth starting quarterback of the 2024 NFL season, as they go up against a Baltimore Ravens team led by quarterback Lamar Jackson, who's closing in on 4,000 passing yards on the season, only 45 yards away from that accomplishment, and only one TD pass away from getting to 40 touchdown passes on the year, as the reigning defending NFL MVP looks to make his case for the 2024 MVP award. And we also see a candidate for NFL Offensive Player of the Year, as we see running back Derrick Henry is closing in on 1,800 yards rushing on the year, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Baltimore Ravens will get the victory in this matchup and clinch the AFC North Division. Then next on Saturday night, we see another AFC North divisional matchup, as the Cincinnati Bengals will travel to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Bengals open up as a 2.5-point favorite in this matchup, and the Pittsburgh Steelers still have a chance to win their division if they're able to get the victory here in the regular season final, but they've been reeling as of late, so that Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to need to step up their game, because they're going up against a Bengals offense that is on fire right now, led by quarterback Joe Burrow, who has over 4,600 yards passing on the year and 42 touchdown passes, and his number one target, Ja'Marr Chase, is looking to win the Triple Crown this year as a wide receiver, as he leads the league in receptions with 117 and in receiving yards with over 1,612, and also receiving touchdowns with 16 touchdowns on the year. And Joe Burrow will look for his number one target in this matchup, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting the Cincinnati Bengals will keep their playoff hopes alive and get the victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. And because of that, Pittsburgh will unfortunately lose out on winning the division, and they will fall to a wild card seed with that loss. And the Bengals hope to get into the playoffs with just a little bit of help on Sunday, as they still need the Denver Broncos to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, and also the Miami Dolphins to lose to the New York Jets. And if that happens, the Cincinnati Bengals will get into the playoffs. Then, guys, to kick off our Sunday slate, you know I gotta start with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints. And we see in this matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers open up as a 13.5-point favorite in this matchup, because the Saints have just been reeling all year long, especially on the offensive side of the ball, where they haven't been able to get consistency from that side of the ball, especially with all the injuries they've had this year, with quarterback Derek Carr and running back Alvin Kamara both out for this regular season final. But they go up against a Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad that just needs to win, and they are in, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking for the victory so they can clinch the NFC South division and possibly have a chance on getting up to the third seed if they're able to get the victory here, as we see quarterback Baker Mayfield actually was a snub from the Pro Bowl. I can't believe that, as he's got over 4,279 yards passing with 39 touchdown passes on the year, but I guess with those 15 interceptions, that could be why he was snubbed from the Pro Bowl. But look out for wide receiver Mike Evans, who is only 85 yards away from accomplishing a feat we've only seen one receiver ever do in NFL history, and that would be start his career with 11 straight seasons with over 1,000 receiving yards. And I promise you that all-pro wideout for the Buccaneers, Mike Evans, will get to this accomplishment here in the regular season final. Look for this offense to run through him and the running game, as we've seen rookie running back Bucky Irving break over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. He's the only rookie running back in the NFL this year to break over 1,000 yards rushing, and he also becomes the first Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie running back to get over 1,000 rushing yards in a single season since 2015, when Doug Martin accomplished it. So look for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that they will get the victory in this matchup and clinch the NFC South division and clinch a playoff spot here in the regular season final. Then next up, guys, we see the Miami Dolphins traveling to take take on the New York Jets. And the Dolphins are a 1-point favorite in this matchup, but the big news is that quarterback Tagovailoa will not be starting for the Miami Dolphins in this matchup. They will have to go with Tyler Huntley, who also started last week in the win against the Cleveland Browns. And with their playoff hopes on the line, they'll have to look to their backup quarterback to help lead the way going up against a New York Jets team that's just been struggling all year long. But look out, because quarterback Aaron Rodgers is only one touchdown pass away from accomplishing 500 touchdown passes in his career. So they'll definitely be putting up more of a fight than the experts think. We do see it's only a 1-point favorite here from the Dolphins. So Tim Reynolds Show is rolling with the upset. That's right. I think the Jets will be able to get the victory in this one just because Miami's going with their backup quarterback in this one, going up against a pretty good defense from the New York Jets, even though they haven't really been playing like it this year. But I'm expecting wide receiver Davante Adams and also wide receiver Garrett Wilson to want to go off in this game to end the season on a high note. And hopefully we see Aaron Rodgers get that accomplishment of 500 TD passes, and I think he'll be going for it in this matchup against the Dolphins. Then guys, next up, we also see a team fighting for their playoff hopes as we have another NFC South battle where the Carolina Panthers will travel to take on the Atlanta Falcons. And Michael Penix Jr., the rookie quarterback, is going to make his third career start in this matchup. But the Atlanta Falcons are fighting for their playoff lives as they need a victory and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lose in order for them to get in as the NFC South divisional champions. But they got to handle business against the Carolina Panthers in this matchup, as Atlanta does open up as a 7.5-point favorite. But Carolina has been playing better football as of late, but you wouldn't know that as they got blown out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, 48-14. But look out for the Atlanta Falcons in this one, as I think they're definitely going to see more improvements coming from that offense and from rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. But it's the defense that I'm concerned about, as I really do think Carolina is going to be able to score points against that defense for the Atlanta Falcons. But Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Atlanta Falcons will get the victory at home. I'm picking them because they are the home team, and I think that home field advantage will play well for the Atlanta Falcons. Then guys, next up, we see the Washington Commanders traveling to take on the Dallas Cowboys, and the Commanders open up as a 6-point favorite in this matchup, and we see the Cowboys finally got a couple of wins at home this season, but they go up against a Washington Commanders team that's led by NFL Rookie of the Year candidate quarterback Jalen Daniels, who's actually also playing at an MVP level this season, as he also broke an NFL record for the most rushing yards by a quarterback in his rookie season, passing fellow Washington quarterback RG3 on that list. So congratulations to him, as he'll look for his number one target, Terry McLaurin, in this matchup, who's going to look for a bounce back game, especially after last week not putting up very many good numbers for this Washington Commanders football team. As I predict here on Tim Reynolds Show that the Commanders will get the victory here to cap off the regular season and get to 12 wins on the year. And I don't give Dallas much of a chance in this one, as I'm expecting they're going to have a lot of starters pretty much out with some injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But expect this Dallas Cowboys offense to be competitive, as backup quarterback Cooper Rush has been playing some of his best football this year, and he only needs to get to 55% of snaps played to get into some incentives on his contract, which I believe he'll get in this game. But I got the Commanders winning this matchup. Then guys, next up we see the Chicago Bears traveling to take on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field in January football. And you know that always bodes well for this Green Bay Packers squad, as we see they open up as a 10-point favorite in this matchup, because Chicago has just been reeling. They have been on such a big losing streak since starting out the season 4-2, and now we also see they're 0-7 on the road, which is definitely going to play big in this one, because even though this came down to a blocked field goal the last time these two teams played in Chicago, I expect it to be a lot different in this matchup. And look for the offense of the Green Bay Packers, led by running back Josh Jacobs, who's closing in on 1,300 rushing yards on the year with 14 rushing touchdowns to lead the way for this Green Bay Packers offense. As Tim Reynolds Show is predicting the Green Bay Packers will get the victory in this one to cap off the season to get to 12 wins on the year and hopefully get themselves possibly a better seed in the playoffs with this victory. And good luck to the Chicago Bears this upcoming offseason, as they have a lot of changes to make, including looking for their next head coach. Then, guys, next up, we see the Houston Texans traveling to take on the Tennessee Titans, and we see the Titans actually open up as a 2-point favorite in this matchup, possibly because the Houston Texans could rest their starters in this game because they've already clinched the number 4 seed, and that cannot change because they've won their division. So look for the Tennessee Titans to really play well on defense like they have been all year, and if they can get just a little bit more production from the quarterback position, I do believe that they're going to have a chance in this game because the quarterback position has been what's been hampering this team for the Tennessee Titans all year long, as they go up against a Houston Texans team that's not been playing their best ball as of late, as they got blown out on Christmas Day by the Baltimore Ravens, who they could possibly face in the playoffs. So with that being said, I'm rolling with the upset in this one, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the home team, the Tennessee Titans, will get the victory in this one. I'm just thinking the Houston Texans are going to rest their starters. It may not be as competitive of a game as we expect, and I'm really rolling with that Tennessee defense, who's actually been a top 5 defense all year long, even though their record is 3-13. Then, guys, next up, we see the Buffalo Bills at 13-3, traveling to take on their division rival New England Patriots, who are 3-13 and have essentially clinched the number 1 overall draft slot in the 2025 NFL Draft, and they will be starting rookie quarterback Drake May in this regular season final to see what they got in him, but I do believe that the New England Patriots have found their franchise quarterback, which could mean that we could see that number 1 overall pick be very valuable to another team in a trade. But they go up against a Buffalo Bills team that's already clinched their spot in the playoffs. They can't go up higher or drop down any lower from where they're at, and we have heard news that quarterback Josh Allen will start this game, but he will be sitting sooner rather than later, as that's been announced by the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. So with that being said, I'm rolling with the upset in this one, as I believe the New England Patriots will end the year on a high note, getting the victory at home here against the Buffalo Bills. And look for quarterback Drake May to have a breakout game, as I believe if he's battling up against backups, we should have a pretty decent game from the rookie quarterback for New England's offense. Then, guys, next up here, we see the New York Giants traveling to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles open up as a 3-point favorite in this matchup, but the big news heading into this game is the Philadelphia Eagles will be sitting most of their starters in this matchup, including running back Saquon Barkley, who just got over 2,000 rushing yards last week in Week 17, becoming only the 9th player ever in NFL history to accomplish over 2,000 rushing yards in a single season. But because he's sitting out, he won't be able to break the single season record held by Eric Dickerson, who was at 2,105 yards, and Barkley was only 101 yards away from passing him. But they're going to go ahead and play conservative and rest their starters in this matchup. And with that being said, could the New York Giants get back-to-back wins for the first time this season? But they're on the road in Philadelphia. That still could play a big part in this one, but I gotta roll with the Giants, especially after they scored 45 points against the Indianapolis Colts last week, and now they're going up against backups here in Philadelphia that could play a big part in them getting the victory, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting the Giants will get the win against Philadelphia to cap off the regular season. And Philadelphia can't move up or down from where they're seated in the playoffs, so that's why they're resting all their starters. Then, guys, next up, a pivotal game, as we do see the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to take on the Denver Broncos. And Denver opens up as a 10.5-point favorite in this matchup because the Kansas City Chiefs will be starting backup quarterback Carson Wentz in this matchup, and they're expected to sit a lot of their starters, especially on the defensive side, as they've been dealing with some injuries on that side of the ball all year long. So look for them to have mostly backups going up against a Denver Broncos squad that's one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. And we've also seen rookie quarterback Bo Nix really ball out as of late for this Denver Broncos squad, but they've been reeling. They've lost 2 straight games, and now they just need a win, and and they are into the playoffs with that victory, but they got to do it over the Kansas City Chiefs. And guys, I don't know. I just don't know if my gut says go with the Broncos, even though they're facing backups, because in this one, I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will put up a good fight. And guess what, guys? Believe it or not, I'm rolling with the Chiefs in this one, and maybe just because I want to see the Cincinnati Bengals get in, as I've already predicted that the Jets will beat the Dolphins going up against their backup quarterback, but with the Broncos going up against their backup quarterback, Andy Reid is still calling plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. So because of that, I'm going to roll and predict that the Kansas City Chiefs will get the victory on the road and knock the Denver Broncos out of playoff contention. Then guys, next up we see the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Chargers open up as a 4-point favorite in this matchup, and we've seen a lot of history made for this Chargers team this season, especially from quarterback Justin Herbert, who now has the most passing completions before turning 27 years old in NFL history. And not only that, he also has the most passing yards and to start a career through the first 5 career seasons to start his NFL career. Congratulations to quarterback Justin Herbert. And guys, in this matchup, they're going up against a Raiders team that's depleted, even though they got the victory last week against the Saints, and they're at home here in the regular season final. I don't think that's going to play a big role in this one, as I'm rolling with the Chargers. Even though they've clinched the playoff spot already, I do predict that they'll get their 11th win of the season here in this final week of the regular season. And congratulations to rookie tight end Brock Bowers, who made NFL history with the most receptions and receiving yards by a rookie tight end in NFL history. And he also made Raiders franchise history with the most receptions in a single season for any player. And then next up here, guys, we see the Seattle Seahawks traveling to take on the Los Angeles Rams, and the Rams actually are going to be sitting most of their starters in this game, as it has been reported that backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo will start for the Rams in this matchup at home, and the Seattle Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites because of that. So Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Seahawks will get the victory in this one, even though they're eliminated from playoff contention. I do believe that they have a lot to play for, especially quarterback Geno Smith, who's got a couple incentives in his contract that could really help out if he's able to throw for over 100 yards in this game, which I do believe he'll be able to get that. And the Seahawks should be able to get the victory going up against backups for the Los Angeles Rams, who have already clinched a playoff spot. But if they lose, they could fall from the 3 seed to the 4 seed if they're not able to get the victory to cap off the regular season here in this matchup. Then guys, next up we see the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Arizona Cardinals, and we see the Cardinals open up as a 4.5-point favorite in this one, but both teams are going to be resting some of their starters. So for me, it's pretty easy here, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Arizona Cardinals will get the victory in this one. I think there's just too many starters going to be out in this game for San Francisco, and with Arizona still having starting quarterback Kyler Murray expected to play this game, as he has a few incentives and his contract that he'd like to get, I do believe because of that, the Arizona Cardinals will be able to get the victory here to get to 8 wins on the season here, defeating the San Francisco 49ers. Then guys, finally here for the Sunday slate during the day and afternoon, we see the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts open up as a 5-point favorite in this matchup, and I'm not sure if we'll see quarterback Anthony Richardson in this game or not, but how about running back Jonathan Taylor, who has been a bright spot for this Colts team, who definitely had a struggling of a year, especially after being eliminated from the playoffs last week against the New York Giants. That is tough. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have found a star at the wide receiver position, as rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. has set franchise records for receiving yards and receiving touchdowns by a rookie here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm rolling with the upset in this one, as I believe the Jaguars will be able to get the victory in this one over the Indianapolis Colts on the road. Then guys, we get to our Saturday night game, the biggest game of the season in my opinion, as this is the first time in NFL history we will see 2 teams with 13 plus wins go one-on-one in the regular season final, and the winner will be the number 1 seed and the division champion for the NFC North, and the loser will fall all the way down to the 5th seed if they are not able to come up with the win. As we see Detroit Lions are taking on the Minnesota Vikings, as the Vikings travel to Detroit, we see the Lions open up as a 3-point favorite in this this matchup. And guys, we have two good defenses, but the defense for the Detroit Lions is full of injuries right now, which could play a big role. But we are hearing news that starting linebacker Alex Anzalone could possibly come back from a broken forearm injury to start and play this matchup, which could be very big for the Detroit Lions defense, who also have a Pro Bowl snub of their own, as safety Carl Joseph, who leads the league in interceptions, was not voted to the Pro Bowl. So that could be a little bit of a motivator for this Detroit Lions defense as they go up against a Minnesota Vikings team that's been on fire as of lately on the offensive side, with quarterback Sam Darnold throwing for over 370 yards in last week's matchup to get to 14 wins on the season. And both of these teams are 14-2. I can't remember in my lifetime ever seeing two teams with this many wins going up against each other this late in the season. So this game is going to be epic, especially with the Detroit Lions offense, who is on fire, with quarterback Jared Goff approaching 4,400 passing yards on the season with 36 touchdown passes. And how about running back Jahmyr Gibbs, who is closing in on 1,300 yards rushing on the year and has 13 touchdowns on this season, as this Detroit Lions offense has been on fire, including wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown and wide receiver Jameson Williams, who's been really showing to be a deep threat for this offense, with Amon-Ra St. Brown being that clutch receiver that doesn't drop any passes. But they go up against a Minnesota Vikings defense that is led by defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who has this Minnesota Vikings defense playing some of their best football all year long. So this should be one hell of a matchup in Sunday night primetime football to cap off the regular season for the NFL, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Detroit Lions will get the victory here, as I'm rolling with the home team, as I believe Detroit Lions offense cannot be stopped, and I think they'll get their 15th win on the year and clinch not only the number one seed in the NFC, but also the NFC North divisional title. And guys, this has been Tim Reynolds Show's NFL Week 18 predictions and preview. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and check out more of my NFL content on my YouTube channel, and more from this sports entertainment, football loving channel, not only with my WWE show reviews and with NASCAR coming up here in the new year. Look for that, as I will be doing NASCAR reviews and also going over big races throughout the season. Thank you guys so much for all the support here on Tim Reynolds Show throughout the 2024 NFL season. It's been one hell of a ride. Happy New Year, guys, and best of luck to all of you in 2025. I hope you follow your dreams and accomplish everything that you want to this year during this season, or this past NFL season. I'm so thankful and grateful for everybody who's liked and subscribed to Tim Reynolds Show, and I'm looking forward to the playoffs coming up here soon and more people joining this football loving sports entertainment channel, Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys for all the support, for liking and subscribing. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy the final week of the regular season in the NFL this weekend. Peace out.